Hello, welcome to part 2 of our Heihachi Basics Guide. Reminder that this is game version 4.2. In this part, we're going to talk more about strategy and go over some basic game plan elements, which will build on the essential moves list we already went over. Also, don't forget about all the resource links I mentioned in part 1. Those may be very useful to you, especially if you are brand new to the game, and I've included those once again in the video description below. Enough that, let's get going. Like the other Mishimas, we'll start with a reminder that this isn't a crouch dash, wave dash, or electric wind godfist tutorial. Plenty of guides out there for that. Here we want to talk about application, and using crouch dash isn't terribly complicated, it's merely high in execution. So first, let's talk crouch dash and while standing. Crouch dash 2 or electric wind godfist is of course your core move here. It's an I-11 launcher that's +5 on block, so it serves as a keep out, pressure, and punishing tool at an absurdly quick speed. Note that if you do not do the down, down, forward 2 sequence quickly enough, you get a normal wind godfist, which is a worse version. So here we're only going to talk about the electric. Godfist can be ducked and stepped, but it recovers very quickly, so it is still a very safe move. Crouch Dash 4 or Hell Sweep is your low, although Hei's Hell Sweep is a little different from the other Mishimas. On block, the same terrible stun happens, so it still maintains that same risk. However, the first hit of Hei's does not knock down like the other Mishimas. Instead, you have the option to continue the string for more hits. By holding down forward, you can do up to 3 sweeps, which is Crouch Dash 444, the second and third hit of which will knock down and can juggle. These are also much safer on block at -10. Off any of these sweeps, you can let go of down forward, returning to neutral, and press 4-4 to get the mid axe kicks, which are punishable if you do both of them. So once Crouch Dash 4 hits, you put your opponent in a 50-50 between a follow-up low launcher and a mid axe kick. Having to enter a secondary mix-up to get your damage means Hei's Hell Sweep isn't quite as good as the other Mishimas, but it's still a threat. Your only 2 other Crouch Dash options are mostly situational. Crouch Dash 3 is a slow power mid, knockdown splat on hit, +7 on block with pushback. You can hold the button to do a risky knockdown low, but it's even slower, so against good defensive players, it'll be tough to hit. So the mid is occasionally useful for pressure thanks to the +7, especially at the wall. Crouch Dash 1 is a very unsafe mid uppercut, although doing forward, neutral, down, forward, so cutting out the down input, is the infamous Omen Thunder Godfist, which does more damage, is safer, and offers better follow-ups like a legit juggle. It used to be safe, so you'll see this a lot less now in the neutral than in the past. Still, you will see this on occasion since a true mid launcher at -10 is not bad at all, and you can nail it as a follow-up to a lot of other moves like after while standing 1 on hit, which does do more damage than the easier follow-ups like his Death Fist. Although electric will be your main pressure tool, your other option is of course to pop out of Crouch Dash and do another move entirely. Crouch Dash buffers a forward input for you, so moves like forward 3, your safe mid launcher, can be done simply as Crouch Dash forward 3. Forward 2 and running 3 are also extremely common. You can of course do forward 4 or up forward 3-4 to keep the pressure up. You can also run a little back 2, down back 2 mix up, really whatever you want with your normal neutral tools. This strategy is common because Crouch Dash Wave Dash is such a good movement tool in general that it allows you to get in lightning fast so you can run a neutral game instead of just Crouch Dash moves. Similarly, through a special technique, you can use while standing moves from your Crouch Dash. This is done as Crouch Dash to back to neutral and then your attack button. The sequence must be quick and smooth. It takes some practice to get the timing down, but it can be worth it. While standing 1 and while standing 3 1+2 are risky, but are your fastest mid options to get chunky damage or a launch. While standing 2 is another mid, this time safe, +11 on hit and juggle on counter hit, same speed as while standing 3. Plus it has some lateral evasion, making it really good at catching the counter hit against jab mashers and such. And the spin makes it splat. It's a Heihachi classic and just a really solid move overall. Also, by holding down forward, you can stay in full crouch from your Crouch Dash, giving you access to full crouch down forward 4, a risky but decently quick knockdown low that gives a free forward 4-2, and like most of his forward 4-2 Oki situations, if they try to stand, forward 4-2 will launch. If they start ducking for this, you can then mix with while standing 2, while standing 3, or whatever. This mix up with full crouch down forward 4 is particularly gross at the wall. While standing 4 is the one exception here, as you can simply do this as forward neutral quarter circle forward 4, so a safe I-11 mid poke right out of Crouch Dash. Be careful finishing the string since it is -15 on block for the second axe kick. Overall, make sure your electric is crisp and use your Crouch Dash to close the gap before they can blink. Crouch dash is of course the linchpin of Hei's Rushdown, but we need to discuss how Hei is a Rushdown character overall and not just through crouch dash. Conventional wisdom says that people should never duck against Hei, and the reason is because his lows have somewhat skewed risk versus reward while his mids are crazy powerful. If Hei is wave dashing, should your opponent really care about eating a single low damage hell sweep after which they get to guess again at the risk of him doing a forward 2? Or if near a wall, do they really care about maybe eating a down back 2 when he has back 2 and forward 3 or some other safe splatting mid? In other words, the incentive favors mid blocking heavily since your opponent doesn't typically have to worry about getting trapped in a vortex from a knockdown low like from Kazuya's hell sweep for example. So since your opponent doesn't want to duck, that leaves them open to your assortment of powerful pressure tools. This starts with 1 back 2, a safe I-10 high mid counter hit string. It's not just safe, it's only -2, so sidestepping, backdashing, or just mashing a quick crush or evasive move is absolutely an option. A single jab is plus on block anyway, so 1 back 2 gives you more initiative with the classic single jab harassment, which is a lot more powerful in a real match than it might sound on paper. Down forward 1 offers you a similar situation. Down forward 1 is only -1 on block and a ridiculous +9 on hit, and down forward 1-1 is only -2. Sure, down forward 1-1 can be ducked, but as a Hei player, you have to learn to feel when to just let down forward 1-2 rip so that they sit still for down forward 1 and down forward 1-1. Or since down forward 1 recovers so fast, you can just bait a duck into something else. Throw in traditional quick pokes like crouch jab and toe kick, combine that with your powerful electric and plus on block tools like forward 4 and up forward 3-4, and now you have a tool set primed to nab counter hits. And if they're getting cute with their own pokes, don't forget that up forward 3-4 low crushes and down back 2 and toe kick high crush. Or you can do the Mishima classic sidestep electric wing god fist. Although don't forget too about his other strings. Forward 2-3 is stupid good and does way more than 1 back 2, it's just a tad slower. Back 1-2 can be super scary and is also delayable. Even down 1-2 is a safe mid poke string with potential big reward. In any case, the idea of all of this is to force a mistake. Fundamentally, you want to get a read on your opponent's neutral timing, but that is a long road. However, thankfully for us, Heihachi gives us some really easy basic setups that newcomers can do right out the gate. You'll notice that a lot of these moves hang around the -1 or -2 area on block, so like single jab, 1 back 2, down forward 1, forward 3, forward 2-3, and so on. When you're in that frame range, a sidestep afterwards will go around anything that is even remotely linear, giving you a perfect electric opportunity, as we've mentioned a couple times, or something even simpler like 1-1-2 or down forward 1-2. If they're not doing fast counter hit moves, 1 back 2 or one of your crushes are decent options as well. If your opponent is punch happy, you can also throw in Heihachi's singular stance, Raijin. You can only do it manually as forward 3+4, but the startup is a mid-high punch parry. You have to manually input your follow-up, which is usually going to be Rai 1, a safe high launcher. Rai 2-1 is fine at the wall since it does do more damage and will splat. Just be careful doing it in the neutral since both hits are unsafe, particularly the second one. The only other Rai move is Rai 1+2, a slow high unblockable, so really only useful as a knowledge check, although you can bail on Rai entirely with a sidestep by pressing up or down. But if you want an even simpler setup, doing crouch jab or toe kick into while standing will go around jabs or other similarly linear moves, and if they're doing a string, you may nab that counter hit. If your opponent is playing ultra patient and safe, then start doing your down back 2, hell sweep, or full crouch down forward 4 to open them up a bit. Just remember that your pressure tools and mids are so good that those are what you want to be using. Your lows are largely a last resort. Heihachi has grabs for all 3 breaks, which is great for adding to his offense since, again, the general strategy against him is not to duck, so you should have plenty of opportunities for these. Down forward 2+3 is your 2 break, a headbutt that leaves them standing but gives +7 on hit, so perfect for continuing your offense. It also side switches on break, so useful still with your back against the wall. Forward 1+2 is your 1+2 break, another headbutt, this time a knockdown splatter. They can tech roll in the open, but you still have advantage to continue pressure. Also another grab that side switches on break. Quarter circle forward 1+2 is your 1 break, a cool body toss. Sadly, this is a slow grab at I-15 and it has a unique animation, so anyone familiar with Heihachi isn't likely to get hit by it. Still, it does really good damage, and at certain wall angles, you'll toss them into the wall for even more damage plus Oki, so the reward can be pretty big. Like all the Mishimas, you can do all of these by quickly popping out of your crouch dash, so learn to do that fluidly to help with your crouch dash pressure. This brings us to the end of part 2. Hopefully this discussion gets your creativity going and helps get you some wins. In part 3, we'll finish the guide off by going over some quick referential items like combos and punishers, and then we'll end with a brief character summary. Watch for that here in the next couple of days. And with that, thank you for checking out this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube. Also be sure to turn on notifications if you'd like to get alerted as soon as a new vid is uploaded. I also try to stream whenever I can, so the link to Twitch is down in the video description below. You will find Twitter and Facebook links down there too. Lastly, special thanks to our 3 patrons, Tato, Apples, and Overhaul. That support means a lot. Patreon is definitely the best way to support your favorite content creators, and the more support the channel gets, the more content I can afford to do. Stay safe everyone, and we'll see you next time.